Welcome back to Red Hawk Media's Virtual Academy. This is day 14, and thank you to Jacob for the intro music there. And in case I didn't mention it yesterday, because I feel like I'm your virtual cheerleader here, yesterday's music, which I'll send up there, is compliments of Melissa. So this is a throwback to yesterday. This was her music created in digital media, just like Jacob's music today. And here it is. Okay, and without further ado, we'll get right back into it. Today I just wanted to give a few reminders to start off. I think taking a look in Schoology and just some of those upcoming dates that are going on for all of our assignments for the different classes would definitely be worthwhile. I will be referring back to this for each of the classes at the start of the class so that we just get a sense of what it is that's due, what's coming up, and what we've been working on here. I know that a few people have been playing catch up on videos, and this might just be a good way to take a look at that. So let's go ahead and set this up here. I'm going to send that over. And what I want to look at is the overall courses here. Here's all the courses that I am currently teaching. Oop, I got 3 ungraded assignments. I better get on that. Okay, today, in Digital Media 2, the health bar is due. Okay, that's today by midnight. If you look at the other date that's coming up here, that would be Song 3, that's Digital Media 1. Okay, and then we've got our start screen and pause screen for game design. That's all due today. So we've been working on that for the first part of the week. That's coming up with its due date. If we scroll down a little bit here, coming up, video production, we're working on a virtual news show, and that is due on the end of the day, Thursday, so that it can be compiled together for Friday. Again, video production too. And then finally, we get down to game design, and that is sometime during this week. Schedule a walkthrough with me so you can show me the functionality of the Red Hawk Media site that you have created. And that's for web design. And those are our due dates that we've got going on right now. That pretty much keeps everybody up to date on what's going on. Okay, so that bounces us back to actually Digital Media 1. I'm sorry, Digital Media 2. And they're working on the game, and they've been creating a health bar, and that's what I'm going to jump into now. So let me hop out of here. Okay, and put this up so we can tell where we are. I don't know if these are of any use whatsoever to you so that you can scrub through the video. Maybe let me know because they're nice, but they're kind of a pain at the same time. So here we are. Let's send this over, Digital Media 2. And I think it'd be worthwhile to start with a couple student examples before we jump right into it. Okay, the first one is by Gage. Okay, and he put together his health bar. He has it fully functioning. I'm going to clear the Digital Media 2 thing so you can see the full screen. And here we go. And you can see he's got his character. He's still got to work on changing out. He did a custom animation there for the death. That is not the original robot boy dying animation. But you can see the health bar went down. And of course, he interacts with the crate. And then it triggers his death animation. And that's all working exactly the way it's supposed to. That's a perfect example of what you would need to turn in for today for that. Here's another example, sending it over. This is going to be Keaton's. Okay, and Keaton has got he's got a great looking game here put together. He's got a number of different objects, and then he's got that twirling I don't know, tumbleweed there, and then that takes his life, and then he dies, disappears, game over, the whole bit. So again, that's exactly what it should look like. Everything's working perfectly. Job well done there. So here we are. We're going to take a look at that health script because there are a few things that we can add on that I think will give you a little bit more functionality in your game. And I'm not adding anything new requirement-wise as far as deadlines or anything like that, but definitely take a look at this. This might be worth your while. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Unity. Okay, and then here's my setup in Unity right now. If If I hop in, and then if I jump over here and I get the health, that restores my health to 100%. So this is where you can add in a little bit of that incentive in the level where you can make it particularly, you know, difficult in one section of your level play, and then have that little carrot at the end for increasing the health back up so they can continue the level. If you make the level impossible and too frustrating, you know, overall enjoyment of the game is going to go down, and then people just aren't going to play your game. And that's not the idea of all this. Now, one more thing here is when I interact with the spikes, just like you, my character is going to die here, and now I've locked it so that I can no longer move my character. I don't know if some of you noticed, but before you could move your character. So for instance, just to give you kind of a quick example of what that looked like before, I'm going to hop into some code here, and I'm just going to comment out one area so that it's not taking effect anymore. And then I'm going to save that, hop back into Unity, and show you exactly what I mean by that. Okay, so I hop into play, and I go ahead and die, and now I can move around. I could even jump before I disappear out of there. So that's all kind of annoying. That's not very game-like or anything like that. So we're going to fix that, and we're going to add on that extra health thing. Okay, so from here, before we go into any kind of code whatsoever, we're going to create this health icon. And this is a good time for me to reference it again. I'm going to bring this up. We have been borrowing things from GameArt2D. If you haven't yet, make sure that you grab the assets that you need for your tile set. And then we also grab some GUI assets as well, so that we can create the health bar and a few other things. And we're going to steal one of these actually so we can use the health thing. Now, I've already got it downloaded. It's the free game GUI pack here, and it's got everything that I need in there. And if you look closely at it, one of the things that's in there, let's see if I can get zoomed in far enough so we can see it here. Let's see here. There's a plus sign right here. So we're just going to use that for our health. If you've already got this downloaded because you did the health thing, you're all set. Okay, excellent. I'm going to hop out of here, hop back into Unity. Take that out, minimize that, and hop over here. Now let's go ahead and create some health. First thing that we're going to do, which I'm sure you've been getting used to because you probably have duplicates of a lot of things by now. We're going to, over in our hierarchy, we're going to create an empty. And we're going to just call that empty extra health. Okay. And now on that extra health item with it selected, I'm going to go over to my inspector over here, and I'm going to add a component. And the first one that I want to add is, let's see here, a Sprite Renderer. So we're going to bring that up. Now on that Sprite Renderer, right now it says that it has no sprite whatsoever. We're going to change that. That's where the plus sign is going to come in from our GUI pack that we downloaded. I'm going to go over to my sprites, and I'm going to go to that GUI folder, GUI, and I'm going to grab one of the plus signs here. Where are you? There we go. And this time, just to make it so that it looks a little bit different from the other one, I'm going to grab the blue one here. You can grab whatever color you want. Okay, and I'm going to drag that into that Sprite Renderer. So now you can see it says button 161 because I dragged that plus sign in there. Okay, and that's all set up. Now, we do have a piece of code which is particularly helpful to us. Along with the health script that you got, the player health script, you also got that saw script. And many of you put it right onto a saw and you've got a rotating saw. Well, that's rotating in Z space. What if we were to take it and rotate it in Y space? So we're going to just take that code and we're going to retrofit it to our needs and make some really simple changes. So this is how we're going to go about doing that. I'm going to hop into my scripts down here. And again, this is the saw script. It's part of the Health Bar 8.3 tutorial on the Red Hawk Media. You can grab it. Go to the description in that video, and there's a download there that you can take this and grab that. Otherwise, you could probably literally type in what we're going to type in now. I'm going to take the saw script, and before I open it, I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm just going to right click on it, and I'm going to, actually I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to select it once and hit Command D for duplicate. Now I've got the saw 1 script, okay, and I'm going to call this player health. Now I'm going to add the number 1 because I've already got this player. I'm not going to put that on there. What am I doing? Let's see here. Let's call this extra health. There we go. That's a good name that we can all live with. Okay, so we've got extra health. We've got that new name. We're going to hit enter. And then in that extra health script, I'm going to open that up. And it's a pretty simple script overall. We're over in our coding editor now. And I'm going to just make some really simple changes. First off, I changed the name of it to extra health. If I don't change the first line in the code, it's going to have some major problems with that. So I called it extra health, capital E, capital H. I'm going to head on over here, and instead of saw here now, I'm going to back this up, and I'm going to go extra health, just like what I named it. Okay, so we're all set up there. Now we're going to make a few other changes because now we don't have saw speed, we have health speed. Okay, and I'm making up these names as I go, by the way. The main thing is just to be consistent with them, and we'll put it up to 300. And that means that we can get rid of this saw speed from here. Delete that. Now, that's going to throw up some errors because we've got saw speed still listed down here. That's okay. Right now, it says that it's transforming it in the way of rotating it. This is the X, Y, and it is rotating it by the saw speed times time, delta time. We're going to take this, just keeping it simple here. We're going to go Command X. We're going to add a 0 back into that Z category there because we don't want to rotate it on the Z category. And then we're going to just swap out that Y value with what we had before. So I'm going to go Command V. Okay, and now you can see I just moved that over into the Y category. Now, one more change to make it all work. Instead of saw speed, I already changed this to health speed. And now everything should match up there. So I've got health speed with the health speed. We've got transform. All of that stuff is good. Make sure that your semicolon's still at the end. And I'm going to go ahead and go Command S on this. And then I'm going to hop back over to Unity. Okay. And now on my health, extra health object that I created, so again I selected that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag my new script on there. So I'm going to grab that extra health script and I'm going to drag it on there. And once that's on there, I should be able to see actually that my health is rotating. Now, one other thing I've noticed as you get a little bit further along that you want to double check, I've got this script, I've got this extra health thing in there. I'm going to bring it to the front here so that I can see it, and then I'm going to reset the transform on it. So I'm going to go right up to the transform and go reset so it's at zeros. And now you can see it's right next to my character there. Let's move it just a little bit away from our character so that we can work with it. And let's see here, move extra health. There we go, let's get over to my scene. And moving this up here, you can see it's a big mess. Okay, and I moved that over. All right, let's go ahead and check what we've got so far. We've got our extra health game object. We've got that extra health script on there. Let's hit play. All right, excellent. It's rotating. But now you will see I cannot interact with this whatsoever. Okay, remember, in order to create an interaction here, we have to have a collider of some sort on there. So I'm going to hop back out. I'm going to take my extra health game object and add another component to it. This time it's going to be Box Collider 2D. So again, I'm adding a Box Collider 2D onto my game object. All right, and on that Box Collider 2D, I'm going to set it as a trigger. And then one last thing that I'm going to do while I'm here, because I know this is up and coming, we have a tag for our spikes. We have a tag for any other obstacles that you may interact with your level. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to create a tag for my health. I've already done this where I created the health tag. If you have not yet created any tags, you go into Add Tag, hit the plus sign, and then you can type in that new tag name. So let's say Health 2, for example. and save. Now that did not tag it, it just created the tag, and that's kind of an irritating, frustrating part of this. So I go extra health, go up to where it says untagged, and then you can see there's my health too. I'm just going to call it health for now, and keep it really simple there. If you ever make a tag and you're not using it, you can also delete the tags out of here. So I can go to add tag, and then I can choose health 2, and then I can get rid of that. Okay? So just a little bit of how those tags work and how to keep those organized. Excellent. So we've got a box collider on there. It's set to trigger. It is tagged as health. It's still not going to do anything because I haven't added anything in my code. So that's the next part that we're going to go to. I'm going to go to my player health script here. Okay, this is the script that runs all of our health here. Okay, and I'm going to double click on that to open it up. And you're going to, let me just close this really quick here. Visual Studio, sorry. Sometimes it loses its connections with the scripts, and then it starts throwing up all these error messages, and it gets kind of annoying. Okay, well, let's just go save and quit. There we go. All right, now that that's closed, I'm going to reopen it here, and hopefully it won't be throwing up all those errors that are kind of confusing to look at. And of course, it takes a little while, so coffee break. All right, so in here, we are going to hop in. And yesterday, one of the things that I showed you for creating more than one object to interact with is you can literally take this if statement in your player health. And you can take from if statement, first bracket, to second bracket, all of this, and you can copy and paste it. In fact, that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go copy, and then we're going to go ahead and hop down below that if statement, okay, outside of the brackets. I'm going to hit enter a few times, create some extra space, and I'm going to paste that in there. Now we know that we created the tag health, so all I have to do is go in here, highlight this, and then add in health instead. So now, one more thing that we're going to change here, because right now if I interact with my health, it still says that it's going to decrease my health bar value by 1 float here. So that's not going to work. So I came up with a little bit of code here that's going to help us with that, and I'm just going to type this in nice and easy, keeping it slow so that you can kind of see what's going on here. We're going to say that the health bar dot value equals, we have a variable that's already set in here called max health. So we're going to set those two equal to each other. Then we're going to say that the current health equals the health bar value. So we're going to keep that second line actually and do nothing to it. Okay, so the only thing I changed on this so that the health will work in the positive is I took the health bar value and I reset it to equal maximum health. Okay, we're all set there. That should do everything. I'm just going to delete this out of here so that there's not any repetition in my code because I do have it down below here. Oh, one other thing. Totally forgot about this. Okay, after the second line here, you may have noticed that when I collect the health, it destroys itself so that you no longer interact with it. We're going to go ahead and do that. Before we do that, though, we have to create a variable. Actually, we have to create a public game object. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to scroll all the way to the top of my script again. And then I'm going to go up here, anywhere up here, and I'm going to create a game object that's called public game object extra health. Now I have to add that in so that I can take my little plus sign game object and I can drag it into the code so that the code interacts with that game object. In fact, after it interacts with it, it's going to destroy it, so it's completely gone. So go ahead and add this line in there, public game object extra health. And make sure that when you are typing it, okay, make sure that you are capital G, capital O, okay, and then when you name it, just so we've got consistency here, extra health, capital H on that, and then the semicolon at the end. Okay, so just make sure that's all typed in there properly. If you need to pause this, go for it. Okay, so that you can see that. Now that I've got that public game object created, I can scroll back down. Let me zoom out, scroll down, add that line in there, Okay, and the line that I'm going to add in, right in here, going right back to my health thing, I'm just going to say destroy the extra health game object, and then semicolon. Okay, so it's going to take that game object, destroy it, it'll be out of there so people can't keep recollecting health. If you want like a health that just is sustained throughout the entirety of the game, you could just forget this line if you want. That's completely up to you. Okay, so now last thing, we're going to go ahead and hit Command S. Before I do that, I'm removing this so it doesn't mess up my code at all. And Command S, hop back over. Okay, and let's test this out. Oh, I got some compiler errors. What I do here? Text could not be found. You're missing an assembly. Okay, I'm not sure what we've got going on here. Coin counter script out of range. I think I've got everything in properly, actually. And make sure that I didn't mess up anything here. Boom, boom, boom. Then I'm going to go Command S, make sure that's in there. And then hop back over here. Hopefully it updates. Oh, it's going to give me a hard time here. All right, so that'll allow you to get back in there with that code. I'm throwing up a code from another problem here, and I'm not sure what that is on exactly right now, but I'm just going to delete. I'm just going to clear out some stuff that maybe caused some problem with this, and go to my extra health here, put on my original script that I have, and add that component, and let's type in, let's see here, what is the original name of this? Pause menu, health rotate is what I called my first one. Drop that in there. Let's see if I can get in here. Still having compiler errors. It's throwing up an error on my text here. It's been kind of finicky. I updated here. You may have noticed that it looks a little bit different, and now it's acting a little weird on some of the stuff here. My player health. And we're going to close that all out here, and still going to give me compiler errors. All right, so that's going to probably end my demonstration right here until I can pick this up tomorrow. That code is all 100% correct. I've just got another error that's on another script entirely here that's interfering for some odd reason. If you need to, you can go ahead and hop onto the Google Meet and talk to me then from 11 to noon. I'll be on there. You can check in with me then if you need any help with this. Otherwise, things should be pretty well set up for your extra health. That should help you out with that. I'll show you the other thing that I planned on showing you today, tomorrow, and that'll work out. It'll all be okay. And this is the life of gaming. Sometimes it gets a little irritating with little errors like that that get thrown up there. All right. Excellent. That wraps it up for Digital Media 2, and that's going to take us over to web design. Okay, as promised here, web design. I just want to give again the update here that when we are on Schoology, okay, your upcoming date for due date is Friday sometime during this week, between now and the end of the week here, during school hours preferably. You're going to walk me through your Red Hawk Media site, and that will be a client walkthrough that will show me the full functionality of your site. You'll be able to click on things, send me an invite to that meeting via Gmail, and then we will connect so that we can go through that website together. But that's like your big to-do this week, is to get that all done and put together so you can walk me through it. And then there'll be some revisions probably that'll follow, and that will be very close to completing our process for the Red Hawk Media site. And that should give you a pretty good idea of that client web designer kind of interaction that we've got here. So don't forget that deadline. And from there, I'm going to switch it on over here to game design. Okay, and in game design, I just wanted to show a couple of examples here that were really nicely done. Actually, just one example here. And your deadline for today is that you should have your new menu on there. So you've got a start menu, you've got a pause menu. You should be able to get to those at any time during the game. That should add the full functionality. And then, of course, the long-term goal here is that Friday we're looking to wrap up our entirety of our game and build that out. And I'll go through some special instructions for that as we get closer. This next example, though, that I want to show you is from Gus. And this is what a good menu looks like and should behave like. So let me send that on over to you. I'm going to clear the game design thing here. You can see he can go into the menu here. And he would be, if he built this out, he'd be able to quit out of the application completely. Okay, he can go into the options. He's got a volume slider that he can interact with. That all looks good. Okay, he's got different game modes, quest mode versus adventure mode. And then he's got the different adventures that he can actually go into. This is an exceptional menu. For a start menu, it looks great. That's exactly what you would want. Things are looking really good for Gus here. He did a great job on this. Now he's into gameplay, and there's his pause menu. And it's really simple. He can either quit out of the application or go to the main menu, and then he can resume play. Excellent. So that shows the full functionality. That's all you would need to include here for your start menu and pause menu. Excellent work, Gus. That looks outstanding. His game is exemplary. It's really come a long way. Yeah, he's doing some great stuff with that. Okay, excellent. So that is pretty much going to wrap up game design here. Just if you need any help, hop on to Google Meet, 11 to noon. If you need any other help outside of that, just drop me an email. I've been on with most people from the class at different times, working out different issues. I'm just awaiting the day for Dawson to get a hold of me so we can take a look at the snake game here. And of course, do his favorite thing, which is write code. Feel free to hop on there if you need any help. Make sure you communicate with me and get a hold of me. Excellent. Well, that's going to wrap it up for game design. That's going to take us over to video production. And for video production, for you guys this week, the week has been about creating your virtual news show. And the question came up, which was a good question. How are we supposed to do interviews virtually? And my answer to that is very simple. Make sure that if you're going to do any virtual stuff, one, you can use Google Meet. Okay, you can set up a meeting, invite the person to it, and then you can record that meeting using Quicktime Player. So if I click on Quicktime Player, which is built in on your Mac Air, I go ahead and click on that, and then of course you guys have been doing this right along for turning in your homework. I can go to File, and I can do a new screen recording, and then I can make sure that I also capture the audio from everything as well. If you're not sure about the audio or it doesn't seem to be working, don't forget you've got your phone. You can use voice memos on there for the audio as well, however you want to do that. But this is a great way to capture like a Google Meet meeting. I don't think there's a record function that's built in there. I may be wrong. You can check into that. Another way that people have been recording a lot of their virtual content, I know with John Krasinski's Some Good News, one of the things that he's been doing, I just realized you guys didn't see any of that. Wow. All right. My bad. Totally my bad. Again, QuickTime. It's QuickTime Player. Got it built into your machine. I apologize. My bad. I'm losing it. Too much quarantine. All right. Open up QuickTime Player. And then the last thing that I would point out is on QuickTime Player, okay, you can do a new screen recording, which I said before, but you could not see. So now you can see this actually. You can do a screen recording, and then you can choose the area that you want to record. Also check your audio, like I should have been checking. And if you need audio, use your phone, voice memos to record that. Now, outside of QuickTime, and then in a Zoom meeting, I could connect up with somebody here. and then I can put in the personal link to that and go ahead and join. Now Zoom actually has a record function that's built right into it, and if you need to interview more people, Zoom is probably the way to go, and it will capture all the audio as long as you're using your Mac Air for the audio. But that's a great way to connect for some virtual interviews with whoever it is that you need to talk to. So David, hopefully that answers your question a little bit more and helps you out with that process. I'm going to cancel out of this. I'm going to close Zoom here. And from there, the big thing that I would remind you is that your deadline for this, just to make sure that we are all set here, is that you are to do this by Thursday midnight. And you want to get that uploaded into this assignment as a finished video file. Again, you're using Adobe Premiere to edit this. Make sure you export it as a friendly MP4 or .mov format. And then you're going to turn that into Schoology here, and then I'm going to compile all those together, and hopefully we'll be able to show it on Friday for the virtual live stream here. And then it'll be posted to Red Hawk Talk as well. So, excellent. That covers video production. That should get everyone caught up and organized there. I'm going to hop back out of here and minimize. And now that we're done with video production, that takes us over to Digital Media 1. And Digital Media 1 has been working with some music here. And I wanted to highlight a song. Song 3 is due today. I'm not adding anything new on today. I want to make sure that we get to this deadline, that you're not being overwhelmed by projects and assignments here. Brought to us here, he formerly brought us the Quarantine Vibes. That is Josh. He now has a new song here that we're going to go ahead and put up here. And let me just go ahead and play that for you. I'm going to mute my audio so you don't have to listen to me. And here we go, Josh with some Quarantine Vibes. And playing. And excellent. That goes on longer. Thank you, Josh, for that. I'm excited to hear how people have been using the tracks. That one especially shows the example of how you automate volume and how you can put different effects into the tracks to give them unique sounds so that it doesn't sound like your typical GarageBand stuff. Josh did a great job of that, compiling that together. He's obviously enjoying the GarageBand unit here. And that will pretty much wrap us up here. Song 3, due Wednesday by midnight here. That's today. Make sure that you get that turned in. I am awaiting a number of people. If you are one of the unfortunates that's still struggling with the download of GarageBand, make sure you reach out to me here. Rhea, I'm talking to you. So feel free to contact me. I know that 11 to noon is pretty early, Rhea. Yes, I'm calling you out. But get up. Hop into the Google Meet. The link is on Schoology. We'll go through everything and make sure that you're all set up so that you got everything that you need to be successful with this. It is all about you, so make sure you get a hold of me so that we can get those things fixed. Otherwise, I won't know. And bringing it to a close here, we've got Amelia with a new techno, what did she call it here? Let me take a look here. She had a specific name for this. I want to get it right. She called it Techno Vibes. Techno Vibes by Amelia, bringing us home. And that is it for today. This has been another Virtual Academy, Day 14, brought to you by Red Hawk Media. Thanks for joining us, and take it away, Amelia.